Red Dead Redemption 2 had so much to live up to. We have been waiting 8 years for this game, and I fucking adored the first Red Dead Redemption. It is one of my favorite games ever made. It also told one of the best stories in gaming period, and it's easily one of the all-time greats. And for me to sit down here and say Red Dead Redemption 2 surpassed it in almost every single way means a lot. Now, I've always respected Rockstar. As I said, I loved the first Red Dead Redemption. I loved LA Noire. And even though I hated the GTA series, I've always appreciated it. And those GTA games are genre defining, but Red Dead Redemption 2 cranked it up to 11. This is truly something historic in gaming. This is genre defining for the open world genre. This game puts every other open world game to shame. For example, Assassin's Creed Origins looks so pathetic next to this game. Red Dead Redemption 2 is something everyone can learn from, and it shows these developers how to craft an open world. And I gotta say right now, if you're a fan of games in general, you need to play this. If not, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. I'm gonna put this in very simple terms. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a goddamn masterpiece, and every element of the game is deliberate. Everything in the game has meaning. There's no filler here. It's just 100% game. There's no downtime here, and this is the best open world game I've ever played. But I do want to keep this video roughly spoiler free. For one, if I went over every little detail in the game, I would be here for hours on top of hours. And I just couldn't bring myself to spoil the game for you. You have to play this for yourself. Let's go into the things I liked about the game, which is everything. Immersion is a very important thing. It can separate a good game from a fantastic game. When you're playing a game, you want to feel like you're in the world. You don't want to feel like everything revolves around you. You would like to think the world would continue without you. And that's exactly what Red Dead Redemption 2 is. It's the most immersive game I've ever played in my life. There's so many ways to get lost in this world. The world just feels alive in this game. From nature itself to civilization. It feels like a real place. It feels like it's lived in. And there's nothing empty about it. From little interactions while you're walking around town, to birds chirping, deers running through grass. There's just so much going on. Every NPC has their own cycle. They live their lives as well. They eat, they drink, they sleep. And that's what makes it feel real. There's even immersion within the gameplay. You can lose and gain weight, and that will affect you. You have to eat and maintain your stamina. And the same goes with your horse. You actually grow a bond with your horse. It becomes something important to you. Even your gang. I ended up caring for everyone in it. From donating to the camp fund, getting everyone better homes, more supplies, and just keeping them happy. This game is also all about interactions. You can walk up to any NPC you want and have a full conversation with them. You can go to the bar and have a drink with someone you don't even know. And the characters themselves are amazing. Everyone is just so unique, and they're all so expressive. And hunting is another huge part about the immersion. The hunting is so slow and deliberate, just like it would really be. You have to track the scent of the animals, and they could smell you as well. Depending on the way the wind blows, it's that fucking detailed. And even to when you're actually killing them, you have to get a clean kill if you want to keep the meat. And it's little choices like that. Do you want to make the kill easier with your gun, or do you want to get the clean kill with your bow? And there's hundreds of animals in this game, and there's even legendary animals, and those feel like an expedition. And this is hunting at its best. There's so much detail. Different baits will attract different animals. You can even wash blood off the animals. Again, there's just so much to do within the world. And there's even a morality system. You can be exactly what you want. Do you want to be a merciless killer and kill everyone in your sights, or do you want to be a nice guy? It's really all on you. I can go on and on about the details. For example, the way you dress will change interactions with citizens. If you have blood on you, or if you're wearing a mask, they will interact differently. The little fact that you can't add hair to yourself, you can only shave it off. The fact that scratches and marks will stay on your clothes. Dried blood from animals will stay on you. Mud. There's just so much here that immerses you. And I got lost in the world. I've spent hours pretty much doing nothing. Just riding, but to nowhere. I had no goal half the time. I was soaking it in the entire time. And to wrap this point up, this is truly the most immersive game ever made. There's so much here that just sucks you in. The story of Red Dead Redemption 2 is a fantastic one. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. This story is truly something special. It tells the story of the downfall of the West, and the downfall of the Vanderlyn gang. And that's the simplest way I can put it. You get to connect and bond with every single character. You learn so much more about Dutch, and even John Marston. And having Arthur as the protagonist was just perfect. You pretty much learn his entire backstory. And this game also provides a lot of context to the first game. Just very minor details that really go a long way. And this entire story has so many stakes. At certain times, the story can be emotional. Everything feels so personal, and especially when there's loss, you feel that shit. And the atmosphere of the story is perfect, and honestly, this is a perfect Western. It just nails that feeling, and it took me about 70 hours to beat the main story, and I can't say that about any other game. There's just so many missions, and there's story behind all of them, and really none of them are boring. They're all just fucking fun. There's almost no downtime. At every stop I said, how are they gonna top this in the next mission? And they did just that. The story just keeps on giving. And this game is very brutal, and it doesn't play around at all. And even when the story is trying to be funny, it nails that too. But the question I had going in was, will it surpass the first game? I'm gonna be honest. Overall, no it didn't. In some areas it did. I just thought the story of John Marston in Red Dead Redemption 1 was just a lot more compelling. But Red Dead Redemption 2 came damn close. If it wasn't for my nostalgia, I would probably think Red Dead 2 is better. But don't get me wrong, it's still fucking brilliant. And the story is something you have to experience yourself. Now the gameplay of Red Dead Redemption 2 is nothing revolutionary, but it is perfected. This is one of the best third-person shooters I've ever played, and this is by far the best gameplay in a Rockstar game. And you can see the DNA flowing through the blood of this game. There's elements from Max Payne, GTA, even LA Noire. Everything about it is perfected. The gunplay is fantastic, and it's smooth as it's ever been. The horse riding feels just right, and goddamn the survival aspects of this game are just fucking perfect. The survival aspects suit the game so much. It just suits the theme of the West, and it truly makes you feel like you're barely surviving. Not only do you have to take care of yourself, you have to take care of your horse and the gang. And the relationship building is also a core aspect of the gameplay, and the amount of honor that you get. And the morality system is another huge part of the gameplay. Your choices in this game truly matter, and they can completely change the way you want to play the game. But I feel like the implications of being good or bad could have impacted the story more, but that's about my only complaint. And as I said before, the hunting is perfect. It's just so addicting, and just so realistic. The entire thing is just so polished, and Deadeye is as good as ever, and you can just tell how much work went into this. It truly felt like 8 years. Honestly, it felt like more. You guys all know I love myself some good video game music, and my god, Red Dead 2's music is so goddamn good. Now it reminds me a lot of Breath of the Wild. The music is never really shoved down your throat. Sometimes there will be no music. Sometimes you'll just hear the nature. But when the music does kick in, sometimes it can be so subtle and just beautiful. But others can just get you hyped up. And of course you have the Western vibe in the soundtrack, which is just brilliant. And there's a surprising amount of variety here, and the music overall was just great. The thing I love about Red Dead Redemption 2 so much is the way that you're allowed to craft your own story. And you might be asking yourself, what do I mean by this? And no, I don't mean the main story, I don't mean the side quests. I'm mainly talking about the exploration, and just the freedom that this game gives you. There are so many things that can happen to each player, and I love that. I have countless stories of things that's happened. How my horse died, rest in peace Sleesberger. How I got my new horse, and just countless random encounters that I've came across. And the best thing about it all is I've talked to my friends for hours upon hours, just about random things that's happened to us. And sometimes we said to ourselves, we didn't even know that was in the game, because there's so much variety here. I could have done something in the game that you will never experience in your time playing, and vice versa. And that's what I mean by crafting your own story. And I just think it's so amazing for that. I legitimately love this game so fucking much. If you haven't played it, then what the fuck are you doing? This is honestly a must-play game, and I can't praise Rockstar enough for their work on this. This will probably go down as one of my favorite games of all time, if not my favorite game of all time. It's just a little too early to say. And at the time of recording this, the online has not came out yet, and I can't wait for that either. I will probably do a video on that depending how it goes, but that's just gonna wrap up this video. I spent so much time grinding for this. Between editing this video and actually playing Red Dead, so much time went into it, so hopefully you guys liked the video. Tell me your thoughts on Red Dead 2. I have a Twitter, so follow me on there. Join my Discord server, please. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.